ECFS 2001, Diversity and Inclusion in the Early Years, Group 15. Good night, everyone. We are the Cultural Pioneers. I am Rebecca Kwashi, and these are my group members.
Davani Roberts,
Shanika Reed Hamilton,
Mariam Mohammed,
Melissa Primus.
The Cultural Pioneers designed the Caribbean Cultural Heritage Time Capsule, an educational artifact that fosters diversity and inclusion within early childhood classrooms. This artifact was thoughtfully developed to celebrate and preserve the unique cultural heritages of the Caribbean, creating a meaningful connection between children's personal experiences and their understanding of the broader cultural context in which they live. The Time Capsule is an affordable and accessible cultural resource for educators and students, encouraging hands-on collaborative learning throughout the academic year. The Caribbean Time Capsule is constructed using inexpensive materials such as cardboard boxes, colored paper, glue, and decorative elements sourced from the classroom environment or brought from home. The Time Capsule is a large sturdy container creatively decorated by both teachers and students to reflect the vibrant and diverse cultures of the Caribbean. Teachers can lead the class in decorating the exterior with Caribbean symbols such as flags, traditional clothing patterns, or natural elements like seashells and sand. This makes the project visually engaging while emphasizing the richness of the students' cultural identities. The primary function of the Time Capsule is to serve as a repository for cultural artifacts created or collected by the students throughout the year. The items placed inside could include drawings, photographs, written reflections, paintings, and even small objects that represent aspects of each child's cultural background. Students are encouraged to bring in items that are meaningful to their families, such as a piece of fabric from traditional attire, a photo of a local festival, or a recipe for a beloved Caribbean dish. Additionally, teachers can integrate activities such as storytelling, music sessions, and craft projects centered on various Caribbean traditions, and the resulting works can also be added to the capsule. The project is designed to be an ongoing part of the classroom's curriculum, with children contributing new items every day. Each contribution can be accompanied by a discussion where children share the significance of the item with their classmates, fostering an environment of mutual respect and learning. This process not only promotes cultural awareness but also strengthens children's communication skills, helping them articulate their identities and experiences with confidence. Teachers can guide these discussions to draw connections between the children's contributions and broader Caribbean history, geography, and cultural practices. To further enhance the learning experience, the Caribbean Time Capsule can be incorporated into special events throughout the year. For example, during Independence Day or on Caribbean-related holidays. The capsule can be opened temporarily to reflect on the contributions made so far, using the content as a springboard for classroom activities and discussions. Parents and community members can also be invited to participate by sharing stories, music, or traditional foods, deepening the connection between home and school in a culturally responsive manner. Now, at the end of the academic year, the Time Capsule is reopened in a celebratory event. During this event, the students, along with their families, can reflect on their cultural journeys over the year. The items in the Time Capsule, now representing a collective exploration of Caribbean heritage, can be used to create a visual display, a scrapbook, or even a digital project documenting the children's experiences. This final activity not only reinforces the lessons learned throughout the year, but also provides children with a tangible representation of their growth, both personally and culturally. According to Gori Marketing 2022, Vygotsky emphasized that children learn and construct knowledge through social interactions and cultural experiences. The Caribbean Cultural Heritage Time Capsule activity aligns well with Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. This activity allows students to explore and articulate their cultural backgrounds, engaging in meaningful dialogue with peers and teachers. Through this ongoing contribution, the time capsule becomes more than a classroom project. It serves as a symbol of unity, diversity, and shared socio-economic, cultural appreciation. I would now pass on to my group member, Devonique, who would speak on the educational rationale of this artifact.
Thank you, Rebecca. Culturally responsive teaching connects students' experiences, languages, and cultures to their learning in the classroom. And the Caribbean Time Capsule does exactly that. It bridges the gaps between students' cultures, their languages, and life experiences with what they study in school. This approach promotes inclusion, allowing each student to add their cultural piece to the time capsule and share it. The materials used are child-friendly, aiding in the development of fine motor skills, and can be found easily at home or in an early childhood classroom. The time capsule caters to Bloom's taxonomy, allowing children to develop comprehension, analysis, and creativity skills. It also meets the needs of a child's multiple intelligences, including intrapersonal and interpersonal. This promotes inclusive and personalized approaches to education and learning. I now pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Devonique. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariam, and I will be discussing the application of artifact in classrooms. So how exactly can a time capsule promote equity and inclusion? Firstly, it fosters a sense of belonging. This is because creating a time capsule involves all students to contribute an item that represents their personal or cultural identity. Secondly, celebrating diversity. The time capsule can be used as a celebration activity of the diverse cultures, traditions, and histories within the classroom. This allows children to discuss the significance of the item they are putting into the time capsule, which will promote rich discussions on cultural practices and values. Another point is it encourages empathy. The process of creating the time capsule and opening it at another time creates empathy. Students will be going through their personal memory lane and sharing their stories and artifacts with the class. This shows the class different perspective of the world, and it encourages students to listen to their peers. And lastly, it also helps with promoting inclusive practices. So teachers can ensure all students have equal opportunities to contribute. And there should be clear guidelines set by the teacher for students to be attentive and respectable when peers are sharing their stories or artifacts. An example of implementing this artifact. If we look at the subject language arts, storytelling and drawings can be used in the time capsule. From drawing activities, teachers can write a short description about the student's drawing. This allows the child to be able to do storytelling by using their drawing as show and tell about their culture, such as Indian Arrival Day, Christmas, Eid al-Fitr, or any other religious or cultural day that is meaningful to the child. I now hand you over to Shanika, who will discuss the technical description of the time capsule.
Thank you, Miriam. The Caribbean Cultural Heritage Time Capsule is designed as a practical, affordable educational tool that reflects the socioeconomic diversity within early childhood classrooms. Constructed from readily available materials like a large cardboard box, colored paper, glue, markers, and decorative elements such as fabric scraps, ribbons, or natural materials, for example, leaves or seashells. The time capsule is an accessible project for all students, regardless of their financial background. The focus on affordability ensures that every child can contribute meaningfully to the project to promote inclusivity and avoiding any financial barriers that might exclude lower income students from participating. The box itself is sturdy enough to hold a variety of objects throughout the school year, with the ability to be open and closed as needed. This structural integrity is important as it allows for the storage of items without damage, ensuring that artifacts from different socio-economic backgrounds are preserved. For example, children may bring in simple objects such as a piece of cloth from traditional family clothing, a small handmade item, or a photograph of a family event. The flexible, low-cost materials used for decorating the time capsule, such as the recycled paper, old magazines, or natural elements collected from the local environment, emphasize creativity over expense, ensuring that children from all backgrounds can contribute equally to the decoration process. I now hand you over to my other colleague, Teresa Primus.
This is a visual mock-up of our cultural heritage time capsule. Pay attention to the beautiful, inexpensive materials used. I would now hand you over to Teresa Primus.
The time capsule's adaptability to various socio-economic settings is further highlighted in its approach to contributions. Students can bring in objects that reflect their unique experiences, whether from wealthier households or modest means. Teachers can guide students in sharing stories about their items, encouraging respect and appreciation for the diversity of backgrounds represented in the classroom. Focusing on inexpensive materials and encouraging contributions that represent each child's socioeconomic background, the time capsule not only fosters cultural awareness but also highlights the value of all experiences, whether they are based on traditions, family, or local community practices. I will now pass you over to my next presenter.
The Caribbean Cultural Heritage Time Capsule serves as a meaningful, inclusive educational tool that celebrates the diverse backgrounds of students in early childhood classrooms. Made with affordable, accessible materials, it embodies socioeconomic inclusivity by allowing every child to contribute in a way that represents their unique heritage. Through vibrant decorations and personalized artifacts, such as drawings, photos, and cultural items, the time capsule becomes a living project that evolves throughout the school year. By sharing their contributions, students build communication skills, cultural pride, and mutual respect, gaining an appreciation for the cultural richness of the Caribbean. Reopening the capsule at year's end provides a powerful reflection on each child's growth, fostering a sense of community and shared heritage. This project not only enhances cultural awareness, but also deepens students' connections to their backgrounds and to one another, embodying the values of diversity and inclusion. Thank you for listening to our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.